Welcome back. Seasonal farm stands return to the Bronx through the work of the local organization BronxWorks. The seasonal farm stands aim to address the longtime issue of food deserts facing many residents in the Bronx. SNAP Ed Nutrition Educator Jairy Padro joined me to discuss. Jairy, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Now, BronxWorks reintroduced the seasonal farm stands to the Bronx, as I mentioned. Can you give an overview of the purpose of these farm stands?
Yeah, sure. So the purpose of the farm stands is to be an additional resource for community members to purchase fresh local produce. And so, we're there to promote the farm stands and also let them know that they're fresh, they're tasty, and they're nearby.
And I definitely want to add that I've actually seen them before, and they had the most beautiful, like, I don't even use that word to describe food or like fruits and vegetables, but I've never seen that before, like in our local, grocery stores. And I thought that was so interesting, the fact that having like this resource here is just so important, and it actually makes people want to eat healthier. And we'll definitely explore that a little bit later. But can you talk about, just through your work, how has the Bronx been impacted by having the lowest health outcomes in New York State?
So the Bronx has historically had high rates of obesity, heart disease, and diabetes. And I think they've been made worse just by the infrastructure of the Bronx. So there has been lack of resources that allow community members to live, work, and play. So lack of housing or immigration services, or just the safety in the neighborhood. And so I think it's important for us to highlight farm stands to help alleviate the symptoms of or the burden of obesity and heart disease and diabetes, or having them available to the community.
And like I mentioned, a lot of people, unfortunately, they try to be healthier, but as I mentioned, sometimes in our grocery stores, the fruit or vegetables may be expired already by the time you get home. You may
Yeah.
see that they have mold on them, so it
Yeah.
kind of deters people from actually wanting to just eat healthier. And I definitely think that these farm stands address that.
Right.
Now, can you talk about how BronxWorks began this, partnership with local farmers, in an effort to kind of address this?
Yeah, so BronxWorks had partnered with Sheila Young, who's actually the market manager of the Mott Haven Farm Stand. And she's been doing the farm stand since the late 2000s. And so BronxWorks stepped in to help also support the community. We had mutual goals in increasing food access. And so we're just there to provide technical assistance for her. And yeah, it's at the end of the day, it's her market.
Now, I really love to discuss the presence of the local farmers, and how it addresses this decades-long issue of food deserts facing Bronx residents. Through this work, can you just discuss maybe what has the response been like? I'm a Bronxite, so I've said it for myself, but I'm curious to know what you've seen, just because of the farm stands just being in the area.
I think, well, many of our participants are worried about, I think they're confused about what to eat, how to eat. And I think that, having, not having fresh access to fresh fruits and vegetables makes it a little bit more difficult. Like when we're talking about access, like in the Bronx, there's a lot of bodegas, supermarkets. There is food, but are they able to access it? Is it fresh? Can they afford it? And so I think we as BronxWorks are coming in to teach them a lot of those food management skills, food prepping skills, and ways to like save money and time in doing that. And every family is different. So meeting them where they are and working through it with them. Yeah, supporting them.
That makes me, lead to my next question. Can you talk about the educational workshops available at the farm stands? Because it's more than just being able to buy fresh fruits and vegetables, but you actually learn something.
Yeah, so I'd like to think that in our farm stands, we're not totally selling completely different or unknown produce. A lot of the produce reflects the population, the community. And so I don't think our workshops are, or cooking classes are too too unknown, I want to say, if that makes sense. But we do try to teach the community how they can store the fresh fruits and vegetables so that they can last longer. And also different ways to prepare them at home and add nutrition to the meals that they're already eating. So yeah.
Well, that kind of leads to my next question. With a lot of just, when people try to eat healthier, sometimes that means stepping away, or they think that means stepping away from what they've eaten their whole life, what's important to them culturally. Can you talk about the importance of ensuring that, while residents are going to eat healthier, they can still eat the things that they enjoy or the things that mean most to them, whether it be from their, ethnic background or culture, things like that.
Yeah, I think that the mindset around healthy eating comes from a place of like taking away and just stripping your whole the cultural identity, the foods you ate growing up. And one thing BronxWorks does is remind them that you're doing great. Your foods are very nutritious, and here's, you can add more nutrition instead of completely changing your whole diet around. And I think that's a very, I guess, easier way to go about nutrition rather than feeling confused and lost about how to just be a healthier individual. A lot of people, we tend to put the blame on the individual when sometimes like lack of, fresh local produce is out of their hands. It's something much bigger than something they can control. So yeah.
Right. And then also with that, the word substitution comes to mind. Is like, you don't have to take away, you could substitute it for something else. And I've definitely seen some of the demonstrations, because I've had to cover them before, and I've seen some of these demonstrations, and they are, although you learn something new, there are some things that you're familiar with, and I think that helps a lot of people feel a little bit better about kind of stepping into that next role
and
of their
making
health journey.
changes.
Yeah, and making those changes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, can you expand on the addition of health incentive coupons and what that's all about?
Yeah, so health bucks are $2 coupons that participants can use at the farm stand to purchase fresh local produce. And we use these at our farm stands as an incentive to get them to buy the fruits and vegetables. But they also get to stick around with us, hang out with us, and learn a little bit about nutrition, cooking skills, or just like agriculture. So yeah, it's just an added incentive to get them, encourage them to make healthier changes.
And can you just expand on, why it was brought up, or why did BronxWorks feel that this was something that needed to be done?
Well, it aligns with our mission in supporting our Bronx family, our Bronx community, and we thought it'd be just important and needed to step into the role of supporting the community. That's what BronxWorks is about, in feeding our community.
Now, I want to talk about how the farm stands will employ Bronx youth through the Summer Youth Employment Program. I think that's amazing. Can you tell us a little bit more about that collaboration and just what it means to the community?
Yeah, so the Summer Youth Employment Program, we get summer youth every year, and we're able to teach our youth how to kind of manage the farm stands, and they learn lots of skills. They learn community engagement, customer service. They learn a lot about nutrition, and yeah, just like how to interact with each other. So yeah, we receive summer youth every year, and they learn really great skills.
And I think it's amazing that, the youth has access to this, because they're learning about nutrition and in ways getting paid to do it, to learn about how to be healthy. And these are things that they can take home to their families that could, help them as they go on. So I think that's pretty amazing. Now, can you tell me a little bit more just about how long the farm stands will be open and where can people find them?
Yeah, so the farm stands are open every year seasonally from July through November. There's various locations across the Bronx and the borough. I believe there's a total of 30 in the Bronx. We're just one of those 30s, but yeah, every week July through November.
And what do you hope to see, as this program comes back every year? How do you hope the program will expand or evolve, as, we as people, as a borough continues to evolve?
I'm For one thing, I'm hoping that a lot more people are aware that we are here and that farm stands do exist. Many people don't know what a farm stand is. So yeah, and maybe just scheduling or doing farm tours, inviting different programs to come to a farm stand and just be exposed to fresh local produce is a really good way to, I think it starts with awareness, being aware that this is available in your community, that we're here to support you in your journey of being a healthier person and having a healthier diet.
And I think a lot of people think they have to go outside of the Bronx to kind of get that feel of like going to a farm stand with your tote bag and, having that that nice feeling of like you got some fresh fruits and vegetables. How can people figure out where these farm stands are located within their own borough?
They can definitely go on the nyc.gov website. There is a farmers market map that's updated every year. 2024 has been updated, and I believe there's a number that you can text. You'll pop in your zip code and it'll show you the 3 nearest farm stands near you.
That's amazing. And just very quickly, can you just let people know, what would you say to somebody who maybe was like walking along the street, saw the farm stand, but didn't know how to interact, or, didn't know if this was something that was right for them?
We get those all the time.
Oh, wow.
First we give a big smile and welcome them to our farm stand. And whenever they ask, we take the moment to explain, we're just selling fruits and vegetables. Come in or come take a seat on the bench. We're having a nutrition class. It's free. You get $2. So we invite them to stay with us by putting on a friendly face, being very welcoming and inviting.
And I think that's so important. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
To keep up with all the wonderful work that BronxWorks does, please visit their website at bronxworks.org. We have to take a quick break. We'll be back with more Open after this.